Brothers and sisters, I ask you to slow your hearts for a moment. Take a deep breath. Let the noise of the world fade away, just for a little while. What you are about to hear is not an ordinary story. It is not a story of strength, intelligence, or human power. It is a story of faith, pure faith. A kind of faith so simple, yet so strong, that it changed lives, broke walls, and opened eyes that had been closed for years. This is a story that reminds us of a powerful truth. God does not need perfection to move. He does not wait for people to become important before he uses them. Sometimes he chooses the smallest voice. Sometimes he chooses the weakest hands. Sometimes he chooses a child. The prophet Isaiah once said, "The Gentiles shall come to your light, and kings to the brightness of your rising." Isaiah 60 verse 3. When I first heard this verse, I did not understand it. I was too young to understand such deep words. But today, when I look back at everything that happened, I know this verse was not just written on paper. It was alive, and it came true in ways no one expected. Before I tell you my story, I want to ask you to do something. Wherever you are right now, your room, your house, your church, or even outside, please remember our brothers and sisters who worship God in places where it is dangerous to do so. Pray for Christians in hostile lands. Pray that one day they will worship freely without fear. Let us stand together in faith, even across borders and nations. Please like, comment, and subscribe to our videos to help us reach more people. Don't forget to turn on the notification button to get more notifications from our channel at any time. Thank you, and God bless you. Now let me tell you who I am. My name is Umar. I am from a small place that people simply call Quarter. It is not famous. It does not appear on big maps. It is a quiet place where everyone knows everyone, where traditions are strong, and where change is not welcomed easily. I am only 11 years old now. But my story did not begin when I was born. It began long before I took my first breath. Before I was born, my father had an elder brother. This man was known and respected by everyone. He was an imam, a religious leader. He taught people how to pray, how to live, how to behave. People trusted him. They followed him. They listened when he spoke. Then one day he disappeared. He did not die. He did not travel far away. He did not announce retirement. He simply vanished from the mosque. People talked. Some said he had moved to another town. Others said he had chosen a quiet life. But only the family knew the truth. He was sick. Not sick like a fever or cough. He was sick in a way doctors could not explain. His body slowly failed him. He could not move. He could not speak. He could not stand. He was taken to the hospital, and there he stayed for years. By the time I was born, my uncle was already lying on a hospital bed, surrounded by machines, tubes, and quiet beeping sounds. Growing up, I never knew him as a strong man. I never saw him stand at a pulpit or lead prayers. I only knew him as a silent man lying on a bed. My father never gave up on him. From the time I could walk, my father would take my hand and lead me to the hospital. Again and again, week after week. Year after year. He would say, "Family must not forget family." The hospital became familiar to me. The smell of medicine, the cold floors, the quiet halls, the sound of machines that beeped like small clocks counting time. I watched nurses walk in and out. I watched doctors shake their heads. I watched my father stand beside his brother, holding his hand, fighting back tears. Sometimes my father would turn his face away so I would not see him cry. But I saw it anyway. As a child, I did not understand sickness fully. But I understood sadness. And I understood love. Whenever I looked at my uncle, something strange happened inside me. I cannot explain it clearly even now. But deep inside my chest, I felt something whisper, "This is not the end." I did not hear a voice with my ears. It was more like a feeling, a quiet knowing, but I never spoke about it. I did not know what it meant. Life continued. School, homework, playing with friends, hospital visits. Nothing changed. Nothing felt special. Nothing felt like a miracle was coming. But heaven was preparing something. I was 8 years old when everything changed. It was an ordinary night. I ate with my family. We prayed. I went to bed thinking about schoolwork and nothing more. There was no warning, no sign, no strange feeling. But when I fell asleep, I found myself in a place I had never been before. At first, I did not understand where I was. The room was bright, but not like sunlight or electric light. This light was soft, warm, and peaceful. It did not hurt my eyes. It calmed my heart. Then I realized where I was. I was inside a church. I had never entered a church before. I had only seen them from far away. But in this dream, I stood right in the middle of one. And beside me was my uncle. He was lying down just like he always did. But something felt different. I walked toward him. My hands were shaking. But I reached out anyway. I placed one hand on his chest and the other on his forehead. I did not hear myself speak. But I knew I was praying. And I was praying in the name of Jesus. No one taught me those words. I had never prayed like that before. But the words flowed out of me naturally, as if someone placed them on my tongue. Suddenly, my uncle's eyes opened. Before I could react, he stood up. Not slowly, not weakly. He stood up fully, like a man who had never been sick. The room filled with people. Men and women cried. They lifted their hands. They shouted praises to Jesus. I stood there frozen. Then everything became still. The light grew stronger. And I knew someone was behind me. I turned. It was Jesus. Not like drawings. Not like pictures. His presence made my heart feel soft and strong at the same time. He did not speak with words. But he spoke to my heart. He told me my father would soon take me to the hospital. And when that happened, I must pray exactly the way I prayed in the dream. He told me the healing was not only for my uncle, but for many others. Then everything disappeared. I woke up. My heart was racing, but my body felt peaceful. I knew this was not an ordinary dream. But something stopped me. A quiet warning inside said, asterisk, if you speak, he will not take you again. Asterisk. So I stayed silent. Then my father said words that made my body freeze. Umar, today we will visit your uncle. I knew. The dream was no longer a dream. At the hospital, my father went to speak with the doctor. I walked into my uncle's room alone. The machines beeped softly. I placed my hand on his forehead. And I prayed. In the name of Jesus. At first, nothing happened. Then his eyes moved. Then they opened. People rushed in. Doctors froze. Nurses gasped. My uncle spoke my father's name. Then he stood. A man who had not walked for years stood on his feet. The room filled with tears. Joy. Shock. Silence. Jesus had done exactly what he promised. My uncle asked for a pastor. People gasped. An imam asking for a pastor? But he was calm. When the pastor arrived, my uncle gave his life to Jesus. His wife followed. His children followed. People argued. Others cried. Families came for prayer. The hospital room became a place of hope. News spread. 68 families followed Jesus. All because a child obeyed a dream. I learned something that day. God does not need age. He does not need power. He needs obedience. Faith is not believing when it is easy. Faith is acting when it is scary. If God can use a child, he can use anyone. This is my story. Be brave. Trust God. No act of faith is ever too small to change the world.